Alright, so if you are brand new to Amazon KDP, you probably know that picking a book topic is one of the most important parts of the process and can make or break your business. And as a beginner, you're probably looking for the perfect beginner-friendly niche to get into with ease and get some results fast. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what the best beginner-friendly niches are, and we're going to go over a few misconceptions when it comes to what a beginner niche actually is, because in my opinion, a lot of people get it wrong. So if you haven't been here before, my name is Ken. I built a multiple six-figure Amazon KDP business, as well as I've helped hundreds of people publish better books, and we don't hold back here. I give away all the secrets and everything I've learned over the past few years. Let's get into it. So when we talk about beginner-friendly niches, people often think it just means something that is easy and cheap to create. And the problem with this is that when something is easy and cheap to create, yes, it has a low barrier to entry, but the competition is very high because people can just pump these things out. And with AI, it's actually way worse than it used to be. It's very, very competitive. And so low barrier niches are things like, I'm sure you've seen coloring books, activity books, trivia books, maybe even medium content books. And yes, they look easy and cheap to make, and they are, but that's exactly why literally thousands of people are doing them. And so yes, they're easy to get into. It's a great place to learn, but they're not beginner friendly if your goal is to make money without any luck involved. And so a true beginner friendly niche, in my opinion, isn't just super easy and cheap to produce. It's something that sits in the sweet spot between effort, cost, and competition. And so more importantly, they're the ones that are the easiest to make money. Because if you're doing this, if you're trying to publish books online, most likely it's because you want to make money. And so the beginner-friendly topics are not the ones that are just the easiest to create, like these ones. They're the ones that are the easiest to make money, because that's what you want to do. And going back to these type of low-content books, is the royalty rate is very low. You're making maybe $1 to $2 per sale, and there's a million books. And so the competition is very high. How much you make per sale is very low. When you actually look at it from a business perspective, it's very hard to be profitable, especially with how high ad costs are. And so when you're publishing these type of books here, which we're going to get into exactly what these are and how to find them, you're making $5, $6, $7, even $8 royalty per sale in some cases. You have to sell literally 8 times less than you do if you were publishing one of these low content books to make the same amount of money. I can promise you, I've sold a lot of things online in all walks of life. It's way easier to make money if you charge more for something. So if it's too easy, everyone's doing it. It's very saturated. If it's too advanced, of course, as a beginner, it's a lot harder to get started. So we're looking for that sweet spot. And that's where we can still make money as a beginner without getting crushed by saturation or having trouble making a book that actually competes. And so there isn't oversaturation in these topics. They have way higher royalties. So you're getting the stability and royalties of high content without the competition of low content. And so some examples of these beginner-friendly niches are, of course, cookbooks, fitness books. These can be hobby-based books, things like survival skills, crafting, whatever it may be. So yes, I'm sure you've heard of these type of books before, but when you really dive into the nitty-gritty of them, there's tons of potential. And a very important part about these type of books is they are technically a high-content book that makes a high amount of royalties. And they take a bit more substance, of course, than a low-content book, but it's not a massive investment like a full-fledged 30,000-word book. And so not all high-content books are created equal. Let's say if we're creating some sort of DBT workbook therapy guide, it's going to take a lot of research. You're going to need to find a very high-level writer to write it. It's going to take a ton of detail, content, diagrams. It's going to be at least 30,000 words. It's going to be expensive. But compare this to a 5-ingredient keto diet cookbook. They're two different books. The time, effort, and investment you put into each of these books, although they make very similar royalties and fall under the same category, are two different things. And so with the 5-ingredient keto diet cookbook, we can have a very basic intro, some simple recipe chapters. We can have way less substance. And in this case, it's actually a 5-ingredient cookbook for beginners. And so it's even promoting it as a simpler book. You're just getting a simple 5-ingredient cookbook. Let's dive into my exact process on how I actually find winning topics like these, what metrics to look for, and then dive into how we can make these books as effectively as possible. So there are 3 things you need to find book topics on Amazon. 1 is a blank spreadsheet. 2 is the Amazon bestseller categories. And 3 is some sort of keyword tool to show you these important metrics here, like these BSR ranks. I have BookBeam, but you can also use DS Amazon Quick View, which is free, and I will leave everything relevant linked below. But most importantly, when it comes to the spreadsheet, this is going to be a very simplified version. If you want a bit more advanced version of keyword research, I will leave a link below to my free email course. It's going to walk you through my entire book creation process, start to finish, including keyword research. It's going to give you access to my full spreadsheet I use to find keywords. It's a lot more metrics that I consider. But to keep it simple for this video, I'm going to show you the fastest and most effective way to find winning topics, just so you can find your first topic fast and just hit the ground running. So ignore these 2 columns for now. Step 1, all we're going to do is go and find some potential topics. How we're going to do that is go to the bestseller categories on Amazon. We're going to put in a US zip code. So we're only looking at the US Amazon store. And then we're just going to scroll through these categories and find some potential topics. And so because we want to find cookbooks, fitness books, those type of books, we're going to go into those corresponding categories. So we can go into cookbooks, food and wine. So these, of course, will be the best-selling books. So we want to dive deeper into some categories and find some more of the self-published books that are lower down. So we can go into, let's say, special diet, see if we can find something, and just scroll down and see what we see. So now we're seeing the carnivore diet cookbook. There's a topic there. Gluten-free cookbook. And so as you can see very quickly, you can find some potential topics. To keep this video as simple as possible, you're just going to basically do that for as long or as little as you like, and try to aim for at least 100 potential topics. If you have 100 topics, you're going to have a great foundation where one of them will most likely be something that's worth publishing in. And then from there, we can go through and see if we actually found a winner. If you want to keep it really simple, use this process, maybe find 20 keywords. And if you're ready to hit the ground running, then pick something from there that has the highest demand, which I'll show you how to find in a second, and start creating your book. So the simplest way to validate if a book topic is good or not is two things. One, proof that we can actually sell in this topic, and two, proof that we can compete. If we can prove that we can sell and prove that we can actually compete, and as long as you execute and launch a good book, you should see at least a little bit of results. But of course, the execution is the hardest part. So right now, let's just focus on finding the demand. So I'm looking at the topic gluten-free cookbook, and all we're going to be doing is looking for our proof books and our competition books. And so when it comes to our proof books, these are books that have less than 250 reviews and a bestseller rank of 30,000 or less. All this is saying is that you can have less than 250 reviews and make decent sales. And so ideally, I want at least 3 of these, at least 3. I didn't write that on there. So if you have at least 3, it's going to tell you that, okay, there is some demand here. Ideally, you have more. We also don't want too many. That means it's too saturated, or maybe your data is a bit off because normally you don't see more than 5 or 10 of these. So let's see if there is any books that fall under that category. I'm looking for anything that have 250 reviews or less with a low bestseller rank, proving that it is selling well. So there's actually one here. This book is doing okay, 25,000 BSR, but everything else has a lot higher of reviews. So as you're validating the keywords you found, you're also going to find other potential topics. So here's one here, the gluten-free crockpot cookbook for beginners. So I'm definitely going to record this and go and look this up after. As you can see, I haven't found anything else that falls under the category of under 250 reviews with a 30,000 BSR or less. So we have one, and you are going to see very quickly how accurate this method can be. Now, when it comes to competition, we want books that have over 600 reviews, maybe even over 500 reviews. And we really don't want more than 3 or 4 of these. Ideally 3 or less, because this is saying that it's going to be very competitive, because I'm not too worried about saturation, the volume of books, if all the books are going to have anywhere from 20 to 40 reviews, because I know I'm going to launch my book with, let's say, 70 to 100, and I blow past those ones. So saturation isn't important. What is important is competition. What books are actually competitive? So we have 1, we have 2, 3, 4. So there's about 10, even more. There's like 11 or 12 of these. So as you can see, there is one book that has less than 250 reviews selling, and there's 12 plus books that have over 600 reviews selling well. And so very quickly you can see, in no world would I recommend this topic to anyone. It's extremely competitive. The demand is quite low for books that are actually realistic and in our wheelhouse to make. And so just steer clear. Let's do one more example here. Let's actually do the example that we saw here, the gluten-free crockpot. Right off the bat, you see the reviews are a lot lower, and we'll see what there is. So there still is a lot of these higher level gluten-free cookbooks, but there's 2 good options here. So there are 2 books on gluten-free slow cooker cookbook or crockpot. It seems like a similar topic, and they're both actually selling well. And so they're both making 60, 40 bucks a day, and there isn't much other competition for this specific topic. So there's 2 books that fall under this category of proof, and there's no books that fall under the competition. And so as you can see, there's more proof that a book with lower reviews will sell than a book that is very competitive with a lot of reviews. And that's all we're looking for here. And so even if, let's say, there's 4 of these books that have less than 250 reviews selling well, and there's 3 competitive books, okay, the ratio is still looking good. It's more likely you will actually sell with low reviews than you won't. What we don't want to see is when this is flipped, there's 8 super competitive books, and there's 2 of the books that fall under the proof. So as you can see, it's weighing more towards that there is high competition. It can be harder to penetrate. As long as there is proof, you still have a chance to. But the important thing is we're having a ratio where there is more books that are proving we can sell than books that are proving that we can't. And because there's such little competition, this could be a great beginner book to make because it's a simple recipe book. It's not going to take a ton of research or information. You can very quickly make an outline for this book with ChatGPT within a few hours even. And from there, you can go and find a ghostwriter to write and bring this book to life. Or even since it is a recipe book, you can write the book yourself with AI. And so that's the big question. Can you use AI to write books? And the important thing is yes, but it has to be high quality. Amazon just cares about the quality of its books, not how it's written. And so there's books that are written by ghostwriters that are horrible and books that are written by AI that are really good. The important thing is you're making a high quality book, giving the customer a good experience, and go from there. So now let's dive into how to make these books as cheap as possible. Before we do that, like I mentioned, if you want a bit more of an advanced spreadsheet, I will leave that linked below in my email course. But more importantly, as you see, this keyword research process is very effective. All we're doing is proving that there is more proof that there are books selling than proof that there aren't. Now, one more insight that's very important is you're probably wondering, why aren't you looking at all these other books? Because in my opinion, specificity is very important when it comes to publishing books on Amazon. If somebody is searching up gluten-free crockpot cookbook for beginners, they're not going to buy a normal gluten-free cookbook. That's not what they want. They want the crockpot. They have a crockpot. They just bought it. They're gluten-free. They need recipes. They're not going to buy the generic book. They're going to buy the specific book that's solving the problem that they have. And so always make sure that your search term is matching the books themselves. They're very aligned, and your book is solving one problem for one person. That is how you have the highest results. And this is what people mean by niching down. It's not about picking a broad topic and just finding a random niche. It's about finding the actual niches that have books that are aligned with them. And so niching down is only relevant if the books are relevant. And so if you niche down to a topic, but there is no proof, no nothing, that book is not going to sell. If we can't find proof, it's very unlikely we will make sales. And so talking about saturation, a lot of the books that fall under these categories aren't competitors. Just go look for yourself. Go and find one of these topics, and you'll see that 80% of the books that rank underneath it have okay covers, okay titles, okay product pages, and they're just not even real competition to begin with. And they still manage to sell a bit just from the volume of browsing traffic, the lack of competitors, and just the more stable topics that they are. So we want to focus on these three things to get the best results possible. And that is finding the highest demand topic possible, which we're going to dive into right now, as creating a book with a strong offer, like this 5-ingredient keto diet cookbook for beginners that stands out from your competitors, and then launching that book properly. There is a proper way to launch a book to get that organic ranking. And like I said, when your books are making $7 per sale, you only have to make a handful of sales a day to make some really good money. And so a few ways we can make these niches even easier and cheaper to do as a beginner is we can simplify the process. So in terms of a cookbook, a normal high content book is going to be anywhere between 30,000 words and 35,000 words, normally 30,000 words. But maybe because it's a simple 5-ingredient keto diet cookbook, we can bring that down to 20,000 words. And so that just cut a huge cost and a huge time suck and a bunch of effort right away. And of course, alongside that, we can also write some of our book ourselves using AI. So if you are doing a recipe book, maybe you're writing the recipes yourself using AI because they're very simple and straightforward. And then you're going to find a writer to actually write the introduction, the body chapters, and any other information you may need. But then you're only paying for half a book, 10,000 words, 15,000 words. That also brings the cost down. And when you play the game like this book is not going to cost much more than paying for an illustrator, a cover designer for a low content book, getting all that stuff sorted. It's going to be a few $100s more with a way better potential result. And the other thing we can do to make this as easy as possible to make our first few dollars with our books is we want to prep for reviews the entire time you're creating the book. And so if you download Book Bounty now, which is the main book review site people use, and you gather a bunch of review currency throughout the time you're creating the book, by the time you go to launch it, you're going to easily get 100 reviews. Getting reviews is only difficult if you publish your book and then ask yourself, oh crap, I got to get reviews. But if you prep beforehand with, let's say, Book Bounty, and you do this for a few months in advance, then you're just setting yourself up for success, and it feels way easier than you think it would. So I promise you, if you are a beginner and you want the highest chance to succeed, put in that little extra effort, find a very specific topic, prepare for your launch adequately, make a high quality book, have that unique angle and that unique mechanism that makes it stand out, and you're going to set yourself up for success. So go through this process, see what we can find. Once you know what to look for, finding a topic can happen quicker than you think, but also don't be afraid to spend a bit of time and see if you can find some hidden topics that most people aren't finding. So if you're ready for the next step and want to learn my entire book creation process, how to find freelancers, how to create a good cover, a good title, a good description, how to do everything, there will be a link for my free email course below. Make sure to sign up for that. It's extremely valuable. I held nothing back in it. And of course, if you just want to bypass all of that, you just want my direct help with your business and a complete step-by-step system to follow, there's also going to be a link for that below as well. That's it for this video. Make sure to subscribe for more no-nonsense Amazon KDP advice. I'll see you in the next one.